This
Yeah, thank you.
conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hi Kavita, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm really sorry for being late. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So, so let us start. Okay, how the course will be planned, the web course. Give me one moment. I will open the. So, any questions before that,
No,
Kavita?
no,
Do
no.
you
You
have
can start. You can just start, and then only once you start, it's okay.
it? So, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen, Kavita? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see. Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
This,
no
yeah,
problem.
this topic one is irrelevant to me, as I told you that this is because I have 16 years SAP experience, so I don't know what is. I don't want to know what is SAP logon.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So let me just go through the course content. Okay. So which topics is relevant or which are
I
not
think.
relevant to you, we will
Yeah,
omit
yeah,
it. Yeah. So now this topic is not needed. Chapter one
yeah,
and this one some of the things you need it. Okay. Correct. Right. So like
yeah.
if you see.
Maybe, yeah, maybe some of the things. Let's start. I think, yeah, maybe we can start with this and see.
Yeah, so like workbench and the tools and package
Yeah.
creation,
Okay.
like TR creation. I think TR creation is also not required, and package creation you need it, right? How to
Yeah,
create a
yeah.
package. Okay, so that will cover it. So then we'll look at some technical. This one, okay, NetWeaver application
Yeah, next
server,
Viva
the
I want to know. Next Viva I want to know, yeah.
yeah application server architecture, how the technical foundations are there, so that will cover it. This is system architecture anyway, we'll just very brief, okay, we'll discuss. And then system landscape, I think you know aware of this one, how quality production and development systems are there.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is one thing. So this way, in this we'll cover, okay, what is more needed we'll have more discussion, okay, otherwise we'll skip some of them.
Okay.
So next one is
I don't want you to
transport.
spend time right now telling me the course content. We can just start on something. So I saw the course content and then we can, I
Mhm.
think now after this, everything is relevant. I think after this, everything is relevant. So I think
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
clear.
yeah. So now this dictionary is completely needed. Okay, that is what I understood. And this basic concept we need it. Yeah. So then program messages, everything we need it. And function module, I think. Um, See, in this rise of development things, okay. So do you need something on reports or how this concept? Yeah. So are you okay
I
with this structure?
I think reports we can just do brief, but how the printout of a report, like display and all that, because I'll never be creating a report. So, but basic
Yeah.
concept is fine. But if you have something like slash, I one thing to skip a line, you have to write skip. That makes no. But I think more or less
Yeah.
you can start. And if I think that otherwise, how the output and any because report definitely something which does a programming. This is fine. But if you are thinking about in terms of something that how the display output, that kind of report I don't need. You got my point, right? Like it
No.
initially
No.
ABAPers used to create, I think 10 years ago, those reports which show given an output or you put an input. That kind of display report I don't need.
Then what kind of reports you need it?
I mean, just basic concept of report is fine, but generally how to create a report and generally I don't know.
Okay, so okay.
We can do a little bit of it, and if I whatever I think is a little this we can
Mhm.
kind of probably we can do. But the
Okay,
rest, as I
then
said,
this,
rest, everything is relevant, so that is fine. Module pool, everything
okay,
went
this
in.
model pool programming, do you need it?
Yeah, I you'll have
Okay.
to tell me, then only I can say I don't know what it is. So let's assume that it will be I don't know what it is, module pool. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know how to write a comment. Can you hear me? I can't hear you, anybody. I can't hear.
Hi, Kavita.
Yeah, yeah.
I think so. He lost.
Okay,
Just
okay, okay. No
maybe
problem.
internet issue.
No problem.
Kavita, you are the organizer. In case in the middle of the session also, if it happens and if Raju rejoins, right, you just right click on his name and make him presenter, okay?
Okay. Okay. But I don't know why you're using if you used it. I don't know how to use this particular tool. So do I do
Yeah,
install it?
you you can see the people option on the top right side. You join through mobile or you through
No, 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 no,
phone?
no. Yeah, okay, okay, got it, got it. Then I'll do it. Got it, got it. I can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's click on the people and
Yeah, yeah, I can
you'll
see
see
it. I
the
can see it.
name.
Yeah. Okay. Like Teams,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, and beside the name there are the three dots. Just click on the
Yeah.
three dots. There you will have make presenter option. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. No, that this for the next if I'm not present and
Okay.
if Raju again lost the internet connection,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
I'm saying.
No problem.
So let's wait for 2 minutes. Maybe he'll
Yeah,
be
no
rejoining.
problem.
Hello, Kavita.
Yeah, hi Raju.
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
No problem, no problem.
Sana, are you there?
I don't know, but I made you the presenter.
Yes, I have made it now. Raju,
Okay.
go ahead.
Are you saying something, Raju? Because you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me, right? Right?
Now I can hear because you muted yourself
Yeah.
before
See,
it.
what happened when I become organizer, so that is mic is automatically muted. So I didn't
Okay, okay,
notice
no
it.
problem.
So this one interfaces, Kavita. So
Yeah, no, this I
basic
want to know 100%. This is very important for me.
100%. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Hmm.
So then what I will do, I will try to add RFC also. Okay, because that
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah, yeah,
relevant.
yeah, yeah,
Okay?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
will include that RFC. Yeah.
But SOA is
So
not here in this and nothing about services is there. Because for me,
no,
for me, interface is most important. IDOC and services is most important.
okay, so web services, that enterprise services are not covered actually. Let us see. Okay, let us
Okay,
discuss at the end. Okay, so
okay, okay,
then
okay.
conversions. Okay, do you need the conversions? This one BDC
I don't
methods for data.
know. Not, I'm not really sure. What is conversions used
Yeah.
for? For BDC? No,
See,
no, 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 no.
BDC because these were the oldest techniques,
Oh, no,
right?
no, no,
When
no, no, no. I, yeah, BDC and all, na, for LSM, na. No, no,
yeah.
no.
Okay, so this is not relevant. Conversions. Yeah, cool. Then I think enhancements anyway you need
Yes,
it. Yeah. So,
100%. Yeah, because
yeah.
enhancement
So
as it
this
is.
will everything will cover enhancement
Yeah.
and everything. Then forms, okay. Do you need the forms concept? Yeah,
No, 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 because form as it is, form is to that print forms, right? Like if you want to do a PO
yeah,
form and things like no, no.
yeah. Okay. So then you don't need. But anyway, I will give the overview. Okay, will not
Just
take
overview,
much.
but I don't because as it is SFC because now everything they've gone to NACE only, right? I mean all of NACE has gone to BRF now, right? In S4, nobody is using that
Mhm.
NACE concept as it is. So yeah.
See, anyway, that is the configuration thing only moved it, but actually the form design layout is
No,
there.
no, but I don't want to know.
Okay, yeah,
It's
that's
not
fine.
relevant
Okay.
for me.
Okay, so something, okay, this is the thing. So basically from the RISE-F, okay, you don't need forms, you don't need the conversions, okay,
So
and
yeah, instead of
early
forms and conversion, probably if you can put services, that would make more sense.
okay, services. Okay, so let us,
Because two,
I will
I mean
include it.
two
Yeah,
because two big topics I'm removing, right? Instead of two big, you can just put one services.
okay, so enterprise services,
Like I don't know what is this called services, soap, that all that, right? So yeah.
proxy. Yeah. So, okay,
Yeah,
proxy
yeah.
services. Let me try
Yeah,
to
yeah.
web services. I will give something, okay, on
Yeah,
this
yeah.
this part,
Yeah,
okay.
and but yeah, I don't need forms. And one
Yeah.
more thing we decided was I will not need is you said
Don't need
no, don't
need
need forms.
forms, conversions,
Yes.
and so LEI doc just overview.
No, no,
Sorry,
ALE I don't I
LV,
need. No, 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 no.
no, no, no,
ALE I
no,
doc I
LV
need.
report, LV
Okay.
reports I was done.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so mainly these things. Okay, these forms and conversion completely you don't need. Just I will
Need,
give
yeah,
you a
but
overview.
ALV reports you can do the overview. Yeah.
Yeah, so this thing. Okay,
The first two I don't
okay,
need at all. So yeah.
okay, that's cool. Uh, okay, so anyway, this basic foundation thing, okay, we'll cover except that GUI thing. So everything I will cover it. Yeah. Okay. So now, if you see this, okay. So generally, this is the course content, okay, which I will start with. What is the enterprise? Okay. So how this ERP coming?
No, but I
Okay.
don't need all
And,
this.
yeah. So you don't need it. And okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, so where you will see the NetWeaver architecture. Okay, I think this one also aware of just to have some foundation. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
we'll see the three-tier architecture. Okay, how this one. Okay, so different views are presented here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is was one is logical, how the components, okay, are connected, and this one software component oriented means in which layer which software components are installed, and then from the user view, how the user will perform. Okay, how the access will be, user will access. Now if you see here the software oriented, this is the main building block. So if you
I
see
want to
here,
understand the difference between logical and software. So I don't understand this. Can you explain me this?
yeah, so logical view means, okay, so you see here, how, see, just give some basic thing like which components are there, in which order. Okay, that is the meaning. So now see here, the first thing is, a user will be there, then he will access the GUI, the applications, then it will send to application server, then you see kernel and administration service, that means basic services will come there. Then below that you have database management system, below that you have the database. Okay, this is the logical flow. So suppose if you are accessing any application, okay, let us say you are displaying a purchase order. Okay, how the request will route it through all of them. Okay, and which technically what are the components are behind. Okay, this will give you. Now if you see software oriented view, so you have to divide this one into layers. Okay, in which layer which software is installed. So we are talking about software. Okay, now if you see here in the presentation layer, so you need to install SAP GUI, right? So this is the file which each and every user has to be installed on their server. Is it right?
One second, no, just when you go to the left, if you are using NetWeaver, suppose you mean NWBC, right? So if you use
Yeah,
NWBC link, you don't necessarily need GUI installed, right? If I
yeah,
have a
yeah,
link for NWBC, I would
yeah,
not
correct.
necessarily need GUI. So this is
Yeah.
the leftmost. So the left one, I'm not understanding. You've written NetWeaver as ABAP, and then you've written presentation components of SAP GUI. So I don't understand. That's not mandatory to have GUI if you have NWBC link.
See, you can access the SAP software two ways. Okay, one is through SAP GUI based. Okay, otherwise
Mm-hmm.
is browser based. Now you are
Yeah,
talking about browser based accessing. So
yeah,
imagine before that browser based. Okay, you have only one option, SAP GUI, right?
yeah.
So now when comes to the browser based access, that means through portal access. Okay, so that
Hmm.
will also come into the presentation layer.
Yeah, but you've written SAP GUI. Okay, you are saying I'm just calling it presentation component, but that presentation component doesn't mean that they are using GUI. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, yes. See, when I say presentation, okay, for this diagram is just talking about SAP GUI. So you already working, you know, right? How there is a
Yeah,
browser based
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
WBC.
yeah.
So
That's what I'm saying.
you know that thing. Okay, now if I tell to somebody who don't know the how to access that one, okay, they will ask me how to access it. Okay, then I
Okay,
cannot give
okay,
it.
okay,
So
okay.
see, basically, presentation layer means how the whether it may be SAP GUI or the browser link. Okay, whatever thing. See, even if you see here, even if you have virtual desktop something, right? There also you have to install the GUI again. Okay, suppose you will log into VPN and the VPN applications will be there, then GUI will be there. Okay, that is one way. So
Hmm.
now other way is you have the browser link. You have the link. Okay, directly you will use the link. You will just log in it. Okay,
Yeah,
that
I
will
know
also
that.
form part of the presentation layer. So once you have that one, okay, so you are opening one application, right? So that application has some components. Okay, like front end components needed. Okay, maybe you don't know what is like NWBC. Okay, if it is purely browser based, okay, you can say, then you have to design the application with the GUI components, right? So that GUI components also part of the presentation layer.
Let's go to the
So
next
one,
thing. Hmm.
sorry.
Yeah, okay, I got it. I got your point. I think it's just a matter of interpretation. I understood.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Next slide, you can go.
Okay, now you see in the application layer, so where your application servers will be there. Okay, so like generally if it is a very
No,
large enterprise,
this I
you
understood.
have,
The rest is clear for me. Yeah, this I know. Yeah.
okay, yeah. So application servers, there can be, you know, right, what is the scenario to have two application servers?
In the sense,
See, okay, so now see, you are working for a big organization, okay? So in the production environment, you generally, what is the general thing, okay? You have only one application server, okay? Now, to for a big enterprise to run it, okay, they need, there is a lot of transactions, lot of users will be logged in, okay? If they will maintain with only one application server, then all the users will log in, and the load on the application server will be increased and the system performance will be decreased, okay? Now to distribute that load, okay, generally very big organizations, they will install two application server, okay? So when the users will log in, okay, based upon some criteria, okay, so if in application server one, like 50 or 60% resources are used, okay, then their request is directly sent to another application server. So the load will be distributed, okay? In that scenario, just they will use it. Otherwise, in one more scenario is like, suppose you have a, you will have one application server for in like a geographic distribution, like you have in India and you have in German, okay? There is two geographies has to be logged in, so they will configure it, okay? So all the users from German, they will log into one application server, another application Indian sorry, German users will log into another application server, okay? Like this they will maintain, okay? This is mainly for distributing the load on the servers. But underlying this one, you have in the database layer where all of your database management or DB components will be installed, okay? That means for there exists only one database, okay? You see always here. So in this layer, okay, in the DB layer, you will install all your DB software, okay? Like what suppose you are using DB2 or Oracle database, everything will be installed on this DB layer. On top of that, you will install the applications layer, so either one or two or whatever maybe. Then in the presentation layer is nothing but your user computers, okay? Either you are accessing the system through SAP GUI or browser based access, okay, whatever may be, that forms the presentation layer. Is that clear?
yep.
Okay, so then this is how the user, okay, from the user point of
Hmm.
view, what is
This is
okay.
clear,
So
yeah. This is clear.
yeah,
This
he's
is okay,
login,
yeah.
so each session will be opened. He thinks, okay, each is a one session, and he's working with the screens, okay, that's it.
Hmm.
Okay,
Can I ask you how much years of experience do you have?
so I have 16 years of experience.
And all in ABAP?
Yeah, all technical. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so now if you see, this is again something, okay, so some more detail, okay, how this three-tier architecture, you will see the presentation will be in a different format, okay, that's it, okay, which components are will installed in which layer, those things, that's it. Okay, so
Mm.
then system landscape, okay, you see here one system means when you say one SAP system, one or more presentation servers, so okay, one or more application servers, and there is only one database server always, okay,
Mm.
so that will come
This
from,
landscape, yeah, is clear to me, yeah. This dev
yeah, so
quality
this
production,
landscape,
yeah.
okay.
Okay,
Now
but yeah, this I want
technically,
to understand. Yeah, this I want to understand. Dispatcher, yeah.
okay, so now if you see here, this is the application server architecture, okay. So now we are narrowing down to our discussion to this application server only, okay. In the
Mm.
application server, okay, what you will do, so the once you purchase the license from SAP, you have to set up the system, and that system you need to install the software, right? So
Mm.
once you make it, okay, so what this main components of this application server, one is dispatcher, and you have C gateways, then you see work process and their context, and shared memory. Okay, now if you see here, from the user point of view, what he is doing, so you will just log into the system and he will access an application, okay? That means once he will access, so he needs some information to be displayed, okay? So that is, he is requesting, and then the relevant information is displayed on a screen, right? So that is the user, okay? If you go down very little thing, okay, just how this request is fulfilled by the application server. So when the user make a request, like you see here, purchase order, okay, you will enter the purchase order number. You will click enter or click on any button display. So then that request will send to the application server, and the in the application server, dispatcher will receive that request. Okay, and if you see here in the application server, only one dispatcher will be there. Okay, now once this request is received, okay, this request will be put into a queue. Okay, suppose queue means, okay, first in first out. Okay, suppose you don't have any work process to be processed, it will be in the queue. Otherwise it will be processed or allocated to respective work process. Now the dispatcher main task is it will receive the request from the front end, and then it will find out the available work process, and that work process will be assigned to that request. Then all of your
I'm not clear about this work process. What do you mean by work?
no,
This
no,
available.
no, no. Are you clear with the dispatcher now?
I'm
I'm
assuming dispatcher, the job of the dispatcher is to assign work processes as per availability.
Yeah, that's it. It will receive the request, it will assign to the work process. Okay, now let us discuss the work process now.
Mhm.
Okay, so in the application server you will configure, okay, how many work process will that application server will handle. Okay, there can be multiple work process. So here all
This
of
is the
your code,
basis job. I'm assuming basis would be
yes,
defining
exactly,
that, right?
yeah, the configuration
Okay.
will be done by the basis, correct.
This is okay.
So now
Okay.
the work process is, okay, here whatever request, suppose you are entering the purchase order, right? So it has to get the purchase order details from the database, right? All of
Mhm.
your ABAP code, okay, whatever program code is there, that will be executed in this work process. Okay,
Okay.
see
Mhm.
now functionally you will think you just send a request, where that code is executed, that code is
Mhm.
executed in the work process actually.
Okay.
So now if you see here, every work process has a context. Okay, context is nothing but the memory assigned to that work process.
And is it
So
equal? So I mean, is it when suppose basis decides that we have suppose 10 work processes, I'm just giving a random number. So at
mhm.
that time, do they allocate memory to it, or it is dynamic depending on the thing being called? So if it's a complex thing, it is dynamically distributed depending on what the work process is doing, or do they define this accordingly that if they have 20, they allocate only this much memory? Did you
No,
get my
that is a,
question?
yeah, yeah. So that is dynamic.
Okay.
That is again dynamic thing. So suppose you have 10 work process. Okay. So now what you say, you the 10 user you will send. Okay, 10 users, 10 big programs are running. If you see,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, then the 11th user, okay, 11th transaction you are sending, okay, the request, what will happen, dispatcher will see, okay, out of 10 work process, is there any available work process to process or to execute that program? So now 10 still are running, right? So it will be in the queue. Okay, dispatcher will be put that one in a queue. Suppose once you complete any of the work process, okay, then the work process is free. Okay, then it will take up the next request.
No, that I
Correct.
understood. That was not my question. My question was
Hmm.
suppose they are different. One job, one work process is doing just simple display. Second work process is doing something really complex. So when basis
Yeah.
makes 10, do they divide the memory initially equally, or it is dynamically depending on how complex? So if one person, suppose we have just two work processes, is it
Mhm,
divided
mhm, mhm.
50-50 in it them, or depending upon how complex, one will have 20 and the other
Yeah.
could have 80?
Yeah. See, the thing is, they will set each work process, okay, what is the memory, maximum memory it can have at a time.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to know. So they have maximum,
Yeah.
but then that can, okay, okay.
Yeah, so maximum, okay, it will not decided. Okay, so 10 work process, okay, suppose you will take entire your application server as 1 TB, so then what is the work process memory? Okay, they will configure. Okay, maximum each work process can handle like 5 GB at a time, let us say. So
Okay,
if your program is, okay, running, okay, having the data more than 5 GB, it will give you a dump. Okay, because this work process cannot handle more than 5 GB.
okay. Okay.
Is it clear now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like we have out of memory, like we get dumps or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
exactly. Why?
Got it.
Because that work process maximum memory limit is reached. Okay, so
Got
that
it.
cannot be processed. That's why. Okay, so then you see here there is a shared memory. Okay, in the application server, like all your login details. Okay, all whatever common data which is applicable to all the users. Okay, or we can say all the work process. Okay, that will be in the shared memory area.
Okay.
Okay, context is only specific to the work process. Okay, and shared will be shared memory area, like they will divide. Okay, 1 TB application memory, shared memory they will allocate 10 GB to shared memory. Okay, all of the system variables. Okay, all your program whatever logs. Okay, something system wide memories. Okay, will be available here. So suppose you want to access a date, right? So date is one variable. Okay, so and it is not depend upon to the work process. Okay, so each work process can access the shared memory, whatever there.
No, I'm not clear about what is the function of shared memory. What does shared memory do?
See, when I say shared memory, so common memory, okay, which is applicable to all the work process. So it will
Mm.
hold like user login data. What is the transaction code you are executing? What is the date? What is the time you are processing? Okay, what is the user commands you are handling? Okay, those information will be stored in the shared memory. So you no need to
Okay.
do anything explicit thing. Okay, by default those are available. Okay, suppose you want to have a date in your program. Okay, so you no need to declare that one. Okay, you just get the date from the shared memory. Suppose
Okay.
suppose you two work process needed date, right? So you no need to declare them explicitly in this one. So all of the work process can get the date from the shared memory.
You mean only the system parameters like date and things will come in the shared
Yeah,
memory? Besides
yeah.
that, what else? Besides system parameters, what else could be in the shared memory?
See, if you take parameters, okay, user default, you see that one thing. Suppose you see here, suppose you have one program or two programs. Let us take. Okay, now you want to export some set of data.
Okay.
So there is no way, okay, you can exchange the data between two executable programs. Okay, so what you will do while running the first program, executing the program, you will put that data into the shared memory. Okay, then while executing another program, that memory is read from the shared memory.
How do you do that in the program that put in shared memory? You put it in a temporary place, or how do you do
So
that?
we have, yeah, so we have to use export, okay, and import statement to have that concept. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Got it. Okay.
Okay, so
And
this is one.
gateway?
Okay, now you see, yeah, you see here there is a gateway component. Okay, so which will allows you to give means to send the request to external. Okay, other SAP servers. Okay, or from external. Okay, non SAP systems will take care. Now see here, dispatcher will see when you send a request to this dispatcher, it will look at whether the request is internal or external. Suppose it is a RFC call, it will send to the gateway. From gateway it will send to the RFC request to other systems. Okay, like that
Gateway,
it
you are
will use it.
saying for any kind of inbound or outbound into the SAP system has to be via gateway.
Yes.
Is that you mean? Whether it is by IDOC, whether it is by services, whether it's by RFC, that's a different thing. But any kind
Yeah,
of inbound or outbound will, if, is it for outbound or inbound both?
yeah, both. Yeah,
Okay, so it will be via gateway, you are saying.
yeah, always
And
gateway. Yeah,
gate and there is only one gateway, like there is one dispatcher.
yes, exactly.
Okay, okay.
So this is the main components. Okay, when you look at inside to the application server components. Okay, any questions now?
Not necessarily. You'll give me the slide, right?
Yeah, I will share it later. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Because if I have questions, then tomorrow I can come and ask, na? Mm.
Okay. Okay, now if you look details, okay, we'll see the work process structure. Okay, see each work process again, it is having some different components. Okay, like it has some screen processor, a web processor, and database interface. So how these things, okay, like if you see here in the work process, suppose there is a code. See work process, all your ABAP code will be loaded, right? Program code. Okay, now the code will have like a screen relevant code and ABAP executable code and database code. Okay, like SQL statements are there. Okay. Now the work process while executing this one, your program, it will look at, okay, is the coding line is belongs to the screen. Then that code, that execution of that screen related code will be taken care by the screen processor. Next,
I
ABAP
don't
relevant
understand
code
by screen. What do you mean related to screen? Like, can you give me an
screen.
example? Which code part of
See,
the code is for screen? Like
okay, so which models you worked in ERP side? Yeah. Okay, yeah, ma'am. If you take a purchase order organization, okay, the purchase order screen, okay, ME23N, okay, all the screens, right? Everything is a screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So within the screen, how the data will be accepted, how the data will be displayed. Okay, so that from the user point of view, you are looking the data on a screen. Okay, technically behind the screen there is a code. Okay, PBO and PI events are there. Okay, so which will take the request and which will display you the data on a screen. Okay, to execute that kind of code, the work process has a component called screen processor. So that will PBO and PA statements, everything will be executed by this one screen processor. Okay, screen
Oh,
related code.
okay. Okay.
Next, ABAP processor. Okay, it will take all of your ABAP language or ABAP statements. It will be ABAP processor will execute. Now the database interface. So now you need to get some data from the database. Okay, ultimately. Okay, so if you see, per PO data will be stored in EKKO and EKPO tables. Okay, so to get that data from the database, you need to write a one select query. Okay, now the work process will see this is a select statement. Okay, now assign that select statement to DB interface. Now DB
Mm-hmm.
interface, it will take that one, it will send that request to database and it will get the data from the database, and again it will receive it, again it will hand over to the other processor. Okay, or whatever
And it doesn't matter whether the database is HANA or non-HANA, the same select
yeah,
query will work.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the thing, how this thing ABAP interpreter, screen interpreter or database interfaces, it will work it. Okay, so as I said, context is linked to work process. All of, suppose you want to hold some like a list of 100 or 1000 POs in your program. Okay, you need to declare one internal table. That internal table will occupy some memory. So that memory is there in the context memory of the work process. Okay, any questions, please?
No.
Okay, so this is how the screen processor, as I said. Okay, so screen processor will execute the screen code. So each and every screen has some PB1 PI models. So that code will be executed from this
What do you
screen
say
processor.
PBI and PBO? I didn't understand. What are you going on saying PI?
Uh, process before output, process after input. Okay, so this is the
So this
general.
happens whether you are using SAP GUI or whether you are using MDG or something, whether you are using WebDen Pro or something, the same thing will happen. Is that what you're saying?
No, it will be different. If you are using SAP GUI, then PB1, PBO, PI models will be there. But if you are using WebDAN Pro screen, there is some different concept will come. These models will not come, but you have some different concept. Yeah.
Can you just tell me the name of that? I mean,
Okay. If you take a WebDAN Pro screen and um, okay, so
because I
you
never
know
work on
this.
because you see, because I'm an MDG, right? We never use GUI. We only use
Yeah,
either you use
see,
NWBC or Fiori. So we'll never use GUI. So that is why I wanted to know.
see, in NWBC, are you opening always the WebDAN Pro screens or GUI screens?
Always, as I said, it's always WebDen Pro. So that is why in
Uh,
MDG you never use GUI. So either it's
yeah, yeah.
WebDen Pro this way or
Okay.
you use a Fiori. So
See,
we'll never use GUI
you
because there
say
is
why
no way to
saying
access.
in
It's
NWBC also you can
it's
configure
not
GUI
that
screen.
we are using it as an alternate to GUI. There is no way to access MDG by GUI.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
There is
yeah.
no T code for it.
Yeah, everything through NWBC. Yeah, correct. Yeah. See, see, you know MVC concept.
Which concept?
MVC,
No,
model view controller concept.
no.
Okay. Okay, so see, MVC is a concept, okay, which is adapted by the WebDrive Pro applications, okay. So M means model, okay, where your all ABAP code will be there, okay. V means controller, okay, which will take the request from the WebDrive Pro application, and that request will be forwarded to the model, and uh, um, it will receive the response, and again that response will be sent to the view, okay. Then view means view, okay, that is the UI screen, UI buttons, okay, everything you will see, right, WebDrive Pro, that is called the view, okay. Now every view, okay, behind the every view you have some WebDrive Pro methods are there, like WDINIT, like WD modify, WD what a view modify, then WD exit, okay, there are some events are associated, okay. So in WebDrive Pro, okay, so we are not calling in the WebDrive Pro as a screen, right, so we are calling that as a view, okay. So each view have some associated methods, okay, similar to modules here. It makes sense, or do you have any questions here?
I'm not sure. So what you mean the in Web Info they don't have modules, they have methods. Is that what you're trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So that needs, okay, that concept we need to understand object oriented above, okay, before
Okay,
that
okay. Okay,
we
got
need
it,
to,
got it. Because it is oops.
yeah,
So for oops ABAP you will have a different training altogether.
yes, yes. See now what see, if you look at SAP UI technologies, okay. So before WebDrive Pro, okay, how the browser-based applications are accessed through BSP pages, okay. Before that, there was no option to access the applications through a browser, right? You must install the SAP GUI. So SAP GUI, that is UI one, first UI technology. Then BSP pages came, okay. From BSP pages, they have created the WebDrive Pro. From WebDrive Pro, now you see SAP screen personas, those things. Then nowadays extensively are used with the Fiori applications. Okay, this is the evaluation of SAP UI technologies, okay. So backend code, okay, suppose you want to access same PO data, okay, in different things, the backend code will be same, okay, only the front end things will be different, okay. How the screens are designed with the SAP GUI is different, how the screens are designed in WebDrive Pro applications, those are different, how the screens are designed with the Fiori are different,
Hmm.
okay. Okay, so this is something database interface, what it will do. So you see here database interface mainly deals with the SQL statements execution. So what it will do, okay, so once it will receive, okay, one SQL statement, that SQL statement will be converted into the native SQL statements, okay. So native SQL means those statements are depend on the database which is installed, okay. So that, so whatever your all programs, okay, when ABAP you are writing the statements in a open SQL statements are ABAP SQL statements, okay, which
Hmm.
are database independent.
Okay, got it.
So when you send a open SQL statement, this database interface will receive that open SQL, and that open SQL is converted into the native
Into the
SQL.
native. Got it, got it.
Yeah. So native SQL then send to the database. Suppose you have HANA, so that will be converted to HANA SQL statements. You have DB statements that will be converted to like DB2 statements. So that's why ABAP programs are always suppose means database independent. If you change your program, okay, like Oracle to DB2, okay, then we are always executing OpenSQL, right? So it will, the database interface will come and that will be converted to DB2. Previously it was converted to Oracle. Okay, does this make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so now if you see here structure of application server and the work process types, you see here we discussed the work process, right, where our all code will be executed. There are different types of work process. You'll see dialog work process, update work process, background work process, enqueue work process, and spool work process. See, dialogue work process. Now, whatever dialogues things, okay, like your each screen, like ME23N, you are displaying, right? That is a when you send or when you open that transaction, you are working with one dialog process. That means all of the execution of that entire application will be in a dialog work process. Okay. Suppose in update work process, database updates will happen. Suppose you created, you want to create a purchase order. Okay, you will enter all the data, then you will click on save button. So when you click on save button, that means you want to save that data, right? So then behind the screens, okay, in every applications, then save part will be taken care by the update work process. So something you will fail, okay, in update work process, you will get a one message, okay, pop-up message, something expression, something one pop-up will come, right? So their
Okay.
update will come. So you have two things, okay, for every transaction you have two things. One is dialog part, one is update part. So dialog part means you will go to ME21, okay, you will enter one screen, one tab will go, right? So whenever you change from one screen to another screen, that is called one dialog, okay. So that entire thing will be worked means executed in the dialog work process. Once you save it, then that thing will be handed over to the update work process. All the database requests will be handled in the update work process. Now you see one more thing, background work process. See, when you schedule your jobs, right? So all the jobs are executed in the background process. Okay, so those scheduled jobs will not consume the dialog work process or update work process. Okay, those will be consumed in the background work process. Then NQ work process, like when you see when MU23N MU22N, so you will enter in a change mode, one PO. Suppose you will open another screen MU22N, you will try to enter the same PO, it will give a message, right? So this is already worked, you cannot log in. Okay, that like kind of lockings, okay, will be executed in the NQ work process. Then spool work process, all your printing related requests will be handled in the spool. So suppose you want to print the PO.
No, spool I understood, dialogue I understood, and update you're saying when you're doing a space. Background you're saying is what? Background and NQ I'm a little confused about.
Okay, so see,
So
suppose you want to
background
schedule.
is like a job request, and
Yeah,
NQ work processes.
see, background means job scheduling. Okay, you will schedule
Mm-hmm.
like every day,
Job,
end of day or
background
particular.
job, yeah,
Your
yeah.
one program will be automatically executed, right, without user interaction.
Hmm.
Okay, so that is that programs are executed in the background work process. NQ work process, okay, so this is related to locking. Okay, so you understand the locking concept right here. So same users cannot access the data record in a change mode.
Yeah, multiple
So
users cannot do the same. Yeah.
yeah, okay, even same user also, suppose you logged in, okay, you will use the same you will go to MU22N, you will display first. Okay, again you will open another transaction MU21, you will enter the same PO, you will not able to access it in a change mode.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So because already one lock is set, okay, when you enter in a change mode, okay,
So,
any user will
so
enter into
suppose like
change.
I'm using a program where I'm doing some kind of I run a program where I'm doing I know I'm doing some kind of calculation and doing something. So that is done in a dialogue process or it's done in a I don't know how is it done. Suppose I
Dialog process.
run
Dialog.
it's a dialogue
Dialog.
process.
Yeah,
So if
dialog.
I'm doing SE38 and I'm running a program, that's dialogue.
Dialog, yeah, dialog. And if you
And
see
then
here
what is
how,
update? Then what is update then?
see, update, okay, now you want to create a
Okay, suppose I
purchase order.
create a purchase order. Suppose I create a purchase
Hmm.
order because that is a database entry because that updates a certain table in a database, maybe
Yes,
EKKO
yes,
or EKPO. That because
yeah,
anytime you update a table, okay, or you change the value of a table, that is okay, makes
yeah,
sense. Understood.
okay, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so now this configuration, okay, how many work process, okay, are need to be configured in a one application server, okay, how many update work process, okay, everything will be configured by the basis. Okay, so
Okay,
let us say
understood.
you have 50 dialog work process, 5 update work process, 10 background work process, okay, and 2 or 3 this pool and one NQ work process. Okay, this everything will be configured. Okay, so if you exceed that one, okay, if you don't find any of them, okay, then your program will be sent to a waiting status. Okay, whenever that another work process is free, then your program will be executed. Okay, all of them you can see in a SM58 transaction. So you can get a overview of all of them. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so next is okay ABAP workbench. Okay, so as you know, this is the integrated development environment. So if you take any programming language, so developers need a one development environment. So that is called IDE. So here also the development environment name is SAP Workbench, and in the Workbench you have different tools. Okay, each tools are categorized into development tool, navigation, analysis, and organizing. Now if you see, if you want to develop okay any program, okay, you have to use the development tools. These are predominantly used by the ABAP developers for developing the objects, like ABAP dictionary S11 for creating tables, okay, views, data elements, table types, domains. Then ABAP editor SC38, so where all your programs will be created. Then function models SC37, function models will be created. Screen painter SC51, where you will create the screens. Menu painter, so GUI status will be created in SC41. Then class builder, where you will create ABAP classes. Okay, ABAP objects concepts will be created. Those one. So these are the most important ones which you are going to use. Apart from that, there are a lot of other things based upon your requirement. You can use them. Now in the navigation part, you can see here. So there are some certain tools, like you will see application hierarchy SE81. Okay, so you will go there, you can see the system, okay, how the applications are structured. Hello Kavita, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm just
Hello.
listening. Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can, yeah. So next you see there the data browser, which is a tool for displaying your table data, right? SC16,
Mm-hmm.
SC16N. So in HANA you have some advanced, okay, SC16H something T codes are there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so then object navigator, so SEID, this is where you will see the
All.
all of your
Mm-hmm.
developments. Okay, SEID is called again a workbench. Okay, all of your development tools, everything will be integrated here. Okay, through SEID. Then you have some T code repository information system SC15. Suppose you want to search any development objects. Okay, then you can use this SC15 to find out any object in a system. Then coming to the analysis tools, okay, you have ABAP debugger, okay, then SQL trace, ABAP short dump analysis, okay, performance trace, okay. These are the various tools which are used during the ABAP programming or for analysis, also for
So
troubleshooting analysis.
ST22 flash. What is ST05? What do you do with ST05?
ST05, suppose you want to see like SQL statements, okay, how many SQL statements are there, and each SQL statement, how much time it is taking. Only database related statements, okay. You want to do some analysis, okay, or you want to capture in a log. You will use this one ST05.
Not that I understood much. Maybe later we can understand when I go more. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That means okay, when you run any report, right, so you are
Mm-hmm.
getting the data from different tables. Okay, so each to get that done, you have to write one select query. Okay, so then if you switch on the SQL trace, okay, it will, the trace will give you, once you switch on, you will run the program. Okay, then once you finish it, you come to this SQL trace, you will see, okay, for this program how many SQL statements are executed, and each SQL statement how much time it has taken.
Okay.
So that you will decide, okay, suppose your program performance is too bad, okay, then you will switch on this
Okay.
one,
Got it. Got it. Got it.
so
If the
that,
performance is bad, then in terms of
yeah,
timing it, that how long it takes
yeah,
to call it. Got it. Got it.
yes, exactly. Okay, so now the advanced tool is for that SAT tools. Okay, this is SAT. You can also do this one ABAP statements also, you can do it. Okay, this SQL is only for DB operations. Okay, then organizing tools, you have package builder, where you will create a package, and transport organizer. Okay, so where you will create or you will track, or you will
What do you
put
mean by, I'm
your all.
sorry, very basic question. What do you mean by IDE environment? Because I've never been a programmer. What do you mean by
Which one?
IDE? You said that all programming has IDE, which is integrated development environment. What is
ID,
that?
integrated development environment. Okay, so this is the development environment. Okay, like where developers will work in this tool. Okay, you can say one tool. Okay, now see in this IDE. Okay, this is ABAP Workbench is IDE in SAP. Okay, if you go to SAP, sorry, other Java something. Okay, they have different IDEs. Okay, development environment, they will give some name to them. So generally, if you
By
think it
ABAP
IDE,
workbench, what do you mean? I do you mean SEAT?
yes, SEIT, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So if you see, there is some different tools are there, right? So suppose Java is providing one IDE, development environment, that means all the developer tools, okay, will be available, and with that tools they can create the programs, test it, run it, the programs, okay, that is the meaning.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll stop today here. Okay, so
Okay, yeah, that is fine.
mm,
But I also want to
mm,
know. So yeah, so I think Sana is also there. So when she said that after 30% you'll have to take, because I have reduced something. So maybe you discuss internally and tell me what will you call as 30%, because first topic like we didn't do, and then what will you define as 30% of course completion at which topic when you go back to your syllabus. I think there are topics 1 2 3 4 5 6, right, something like that. So ABAP
mhm,
course, yeah, that PDF. So at what point
mhm.
will you say that, because I think you said 30% or 40%, something like that, right, Sana? I mean, when do I have to make, so you discuss internally, of course I don't have to be there for this conversation, but whenever 40%, 30%, whatever, at what point you will say that I have to make whatever it
See,
is. So
my thing is when I complete up to 1 to 14, okay, I can say 50% is completed, okay.
yeah, but
So
I'm not doing one and I'm not doing something in between also, right? So
see one,
at both.
one it will like it's not a big see one or two classes for very
Yeah,
one.
so but one and two, it's any two classes. So one and so one I'm not doing and two is already done, kind of thing, right? So three onwards, I
Yeah,
think. So
so yeah,
I
yeah,
think
you
so.
can consider around 10, okay, 10 you can consider, okay,
Just can you come
30%, yeah.
down? Okay, I think. Okay, can you go to 11? I think 11, because then that is important for me to. Can you just go and okay, function, group, and modules? Yeah, at least this much I would like to know. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, then I'll discuss. Okay, thank you so much for your time. And one more thing, so your this is okay. So weekday, weekend, both you can do, or only weekdays? Okay, that maybe
Uh,
you can discuss internally also. Maybe you don't need me for
yeah,
this, but
okay,
I
we'll
will,
discuss.
because
So let us
okay,
connect, okay, few hours, okay, then we'll see, okay. We'll
okay.
start it, okay, then we'll see how we'll progress it, yeah. Okay.
No, but I want to know the time, not with you, maybe with Sanna, or maybe the other person. I can discuss, but yeah, I want to know what is the
Yeah,
timing. So
okay.
okay, okay, okay. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Bye bye. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
bye.